Hey Manib, hey, I just want to give you a little feedback on this iLift property, 4675 iLift. You had an ARV of 650. So far I've been seeing your ARVs spot on where I want them. This particular one, though, maybe I'm just going to give you a refresher course. When we're along the major arteries or the major highways of the city, um, sometimes they're called arteries, but you see um, the uh, the 470, the I-25, the 70. These are major highways. I mean, they're like, I don't know, 8 or 10 lanes across. They're extremely loud, and so they're more than just a busy street. So when you're comping a property, you really want to take into account if it's pretty close to the highway, and when I say pretty close, like a block or two, that really affects values because if you're standing there at that house, you can just hear this highway buzzing 24/7, doesn't stop. And so it affects the values of the house. So if you look along this corridor that's within a couple blocks, you'll see these values aren't very high. This one, this one's completely fixed up. I believe this one is too. So, but the closer to the highway, the worse the value gets, typically. And then as you kind of step away from this highway, you'll start to see these values start to bump up. Okay, and that's because you can't hear that highway anymore. All right, so if you're within a couple blocks of this highway, you really want to pay attention whether either side because it really affects the value. So this, I would say that this value is closer to the 560s. Here's one right here that it's pretty fixed up, 560. Sold in February, so it's not a recent sold, but it's in there. So it definitely wouldn't be 650 yet. Um, when I say yet, it's the way this market's going, right? This one is back in December, so I would have been really close to this highway. I've been much more conservative. Just kind of like when you're on a busy street. So, anyways, just want to kind of give you a refresher course on that. Um, as far as when you're up against these big major highways like 225, I-25. Parker Road right here, not as bad. Colorado, not as bad. Really, it's just the major arteries. So if you zoom this out, it's I-25 that runs up north and south. It's I-70 that goes out to the mountains, and then your 470 that wraps around the city like this. 76 also is quite loud, and 225. Uh, Pretty much everything. This Parker Road I know is lit up with yellow, and I know Colorado Boulevard and Colfax are lit up yellow, but they're not major highways. They're just really busy streets. So that's really only major arteries that you have to worry about is this 470, this I-25, this I-70, 76, probably 36 too. Yeah, maybe I should do a highlighter and just highlight these so you know what you're looking at when you're into these major highway air corridors. So hopefully that helps, but keep them coming. I'm going through these. We're getting some traction again, so let's see if we can crank out a couple more for next week.